Okay, so here's a short review of Dragon Age the Veilguard. Before we get into it, I want to let you know that I've never really properly played a Dragon Age game. So the only one that I've kind of played for like 10 hours was Inquisition, and it wasn't really for me. I went into this new installment without real expectations, and I will talk about it like it's another medieval fantasy action RPG. I was excited for this game. I'm always looking forward to a large RPG experience, and this game was surrounded by a lot of talk and controversy. After playing it, I can confidently say that Dragon Age the Veilguard is extremely mid. It's bland. It lacks seasoning. It is like hooking up with an ex-girlfriend after 10 years, except now she's much uglier and annoying. Playing this game feels like hearing a joke that never gets to the punchline. This game starts off like the juicy shawarma and mango juice you had for lunch, that after a few hours leads to your veins popping out your neck trying to release what's a mix of diarrhea and constipation, and you forget to flush. This game is like being kicked in the balls and being told to smile through it. This game is shit. Okay, no, seriously, it's not a bad game, but it's also not good. Now, at the time of this review, I haven't finished the game, and I don't think I will, to be honest. It's just not for me. So what you'll see is mostly spoiler-free first impressions from the first 5 to 10 hours, but I got to around the 18 to 20 hour mark. I was just explaining to one of my imaginary friends that this game is like another video game adaptation starring Jack Black and Kevin Hart, but in the form of a video game. Okay, so you play as Rook, which is a character you create in a pretty detailed character creator, which you also get to choose your race, class, and background. Now, the character creator to me was pretty cool. Almost as detailed as Dragon's Dogma 2's character creator, but not as good. And the hair physics, damn, like some of the best hair I've ever seen. The game almost deserves a 9 out of 10.
I'm happy we're here, all of us.
You're basically looking to stop Solus from completing his ritual, which will cause a lot of damage, but in doing that you kind of release a bunch of elven gods into the world that are also looking to destroy the world. So you form a team called the Veilguard that's set to stop the elven gods. Typical fantasy game stuff. The game looks beautiful in most cases. The environments are detailed with great looking architecture, colors, and if you run this game on higher settings, you're in for a visual treat. Well, for the most part. The entire game is split into small, explorable regions that don't really have a sense of exploration. All of the loot is laid out in front of your eyes mostly, and you're mostly sprinting down linear paths. Some quests make you go down the same path, so navigating these regions will become boring, and you'll just be fast traveling most of the time. The world has multiple towns and cities that you can waste your time trying to explore, and it's filled with a bunch of merchants and NPCs. Some merchants won't let you sell your goods while some do, which is really weird. And for the NPCs, yeah, you don't interact with them at all. You can't even hit them with your attacks, and they don't react to your existence. This makes Starfield's NPCs seem alive. The only NPCs you can sort of interact with are the cats that you can pet. You obviously have companions that you can pick from once you unlock more than 2, which by the way, you can't talk to unless it's dialogue to trigger progression or a quest. This sucks. It feels like you're walking around a dead world trying to interact with dead characters. For me, that was a big bummer. Now, this isn't the only thing that ruins the immersion. The characters you meet just aren't exciting. A lot of this has to do with the game's writing. It's terrible. It feels like you're in a Disney animated movie that's trying to be serious while also trying to make 7-year-olds giggle. It fucking sucks. Some characters are fine. You might actually care about their backstory. Some characters are written decently, while some are written with a smaller demographic in mind, which makes them less relatable to me. There's also a couple of times the game can come off as a bit preachy, but those are optional paths. Along with the bad writing, trash jokes, and the occasional jolly fun time music comes the weird character design. Everyone looks like they're from a Pixar or DreamWorks film. You and the game will forget you're supposed to be playing a dark medieval fantasy game. Characters like Harding and Bellara speak like entertainers at a little girl's birthday party. They're constantly stating the obvious and saying shit jokes. Like, whoever wrote these characters needs to kind of just take a step back and see what fans were really looking for in a game in this genre. You just can't take it seriously. Like, for example, here, look at this clip.
Damn it! Oh no! Sorry. Just breaking things. Well, wasn't expecting to fight an ogre today. Then again, I also didn't expect to learn that my gods are rampaging around and trying to end the world. Just one of those days.
There were many times in the game where I just thought, what the fuck am I playing? Of all the characters in the game, I think I like Solus, Varric, Nev, and my own character the most. Rook has a great voice actor, but unfortunately most of the time you get 3 dialogue options, which are almost never satisfying. One is too nice and is obviously the correct answer, while I wanted my character to be serious. One is supposed to be comedic, which I never thought was funny, and one is supposed to be very serious and firm, which just makes your character say something you didn't want to say, which at times could also be the wrong answer.
Ugh. Awkward.
Don't give up. You're still new at this.
I can do this. I can do this.
You can do this.
I've barely seen any of my dialogue options have severe consequences, and I don't want to play the game any longer to see if any of them mattered. I don't need to play a game for more than 6 hours to see if it makes me want to spend more time on the toilet than to play it. Not every scene is bad like the ones I mentioned, but there is a lot of this child's play with the occasional cussing. I just don't care for any of the characters' quests and stories. The writing doesn't do anything to keep you engaged. I did a few just to increase my bond and romance some of the characters, but damn could it be any simpler than this. All you have to do to romance them is wait for the dialogue option with the heart to pop up, and always select that. This game is basically pretending to be an RPG. Assassin's Creed Odyssey feels more like an RPG at times in this game. Now let's talk about the game's difficulty and combat. Combat is flashy, satisfying, and punchy, but really predictable. Sometimes the flashy colors make it hard to see your counter indicators, which was really frustrating. From 5 difficulty levels, I chose the 3rd, but I never died. I don't even know what happens when you die in this game. There is no fall damage. If you fall from a height that's too high, you just teleport back up. The game also has an in-depth skill tree, which I kept forgetting about, and it wasn't because of the over-bloated menu with constant glowing colors that could give you an epileptic seizure. It was because it's not satisfying to level up. I didn't care. None of the attribute points that I spent felt like it made a difference. The game's combat is mostly button smashing like it's Arkham City, except Arkham City is actually a good game. I chose a mage, and it was nice to see that I can always switch from a long-range focused staff to a more upfront dagger and orb. The combat looks cool, and it actually is cool for the first 6 hours. Then you just want to get over with it, which is kind of why I didn't want to increase my difficulty, because spending any more time pressing X and B in a single fight is not good for my mental health. Once again, the world is filled with barely explorable roads and puzzles that feel like the first task of a tutorial puzzle. I'm not expecting Portal 2 level puzzles, but damn, the lack of complexity in this game makes you feel like you can one-shot Elden Ring or explain quantum entanglement to your grandmother. This game is easy. Writing was easy. The combat, puzzles, the world building was easy. This game is just safe. That's it. Now let me talk about what it does well. The music is nice. The graphics are nice if you can handle it and look past the Disney characters. Rook's voice acting is done well. The game can be fun before it becomes repetitive very quickly. The intro was great. The halfway mark of the game is nice. It's also a working game and is full of lore and story. It feels like a pretty long game and is filled with many side quests. Some quests were cool and I felt like my character's presence and decisions actually mattered. But now I'm just mentioning the bare minimum you expect from a AAA RPG. I'm sorry if this isn't the short video you'd expect from me, but damn, this is just so disappointing, and I have to say why. I know there are people that'll love this game, but man, I am far from being one of those people. This game is a mess in so many ways. It's like it was meant for kids but rated M. I also don't see any replayability in this because most of my experience seemed like what other players would go through. It's just so basic. That's it. It's so surface level in so many ways.
Oh, which one? Maybe I read about it in a Timidor paper.
I'm barely in the papers.
Oh, but when you are, it's on the edge of something exciting. What about that one story with the demon, the diamond, and the deadbeat magister? Oh, they mentioned you twice.
That was a hit piece.
It makes Skyrim seem like a very hardcore RPG. I'm happy to make this review because it means I don't have to play it anymore. I can go back to playing other games that I enjoy. I'm sorry, but this is my personal opinion. To me, Dragon Age the Veilguard is not good, but it's not bad either. It's just not a game I would like to play anymore. Sure, the finale of the game could be amazing, but that's like saying studying or eating your fruits and vegetables will pay off in the long run. I'm talking about playing a game and looking forward to escaping reality for a bit. Most of this game felt like a chore, but there were some really cool moments in the story where I was really engaged. I think the game is a 5 out of 10. And that's being nice. Don't take my word for it, man. This is just my personal opinion. I played this on PC, and luckily PC players have access to EA Play Pro, which is where I played it. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and check out the merch in the description. Let me know if you like this game in the comments, and I won't blame you if you did. It just wasn't for me. Let me know what game I should review next. Go play Baldur's Gate 3 now.
Sounds promising.